Uh, now, all Cnidarians have two cell layers on their body. They can be either of two forms, either polyp or medusa, and those are pictured for you on page 711. You see these two different types, both the polyp type, which is a tubular body with tentacles at the top and a base, and then the umbrella-shaped medusa with the tentacles hanging down. That's the two shapes, polyp and medusa. The medusa is free swimming. He swims generally by jet propulsion, bringing water in and out of the body cavity and moving in that direction. The polyp body form is more typically sessile. It doesn't have the ability to move, although it can do somersaults by adding carbon dioxide to its base, like the polyp, or like the hydra. But it can collect this carbon dioxide bubbles and do a somersault and travel downstream and then release the carbon dioxide and float to the bottom and begin to regenerate there. And as I said, this is how the Cnidarians get food. They gather food by releasing these stinging tentacles, stinging nematocysts from the tentacles into their prey. Once they gather the prey, they bring it up into the body cavity. Now, in the Cnidarians, the cavity between the inside layers is called a gastrovascular cavity. Gastro meaning stomach. So this is where enzymes by the inside layers are produced to break down that food that he's eating. So that's a true beginning of a digestive system. We have the presence of a gastrovascular cavity. This is significantly different from the periphery, who would simply have cells within the lining of that digested food. This one has a separate cavity for that purpose, so we see a little more advancement there. Now, these guys do have some response to stimulus. When we touch a jellyfish or a polyp, they will respond by stinging the tentacles. They don't have a brain, but it's more of a network of nerve-type tissue that causes that response. They don't have muscles either, but when they move, it's that contraction of the nerves that causes the body to react like muscles. So it's similar to a very primitive muscular type cell that contracts in response to the stimulus. Now, these guys are more advanced than the sponges because they have separate sexes. They have a male and a female in the medusa body form. The medusas are the ones that produce eggs and sperm. They're either male or female. They'll produce egg and sperm. The egg and sperm will combine together, forming a zygote. The zygote matures into a larva that will swim around. Once the larva reaches the bottom, it will mature into a polyp. Now, the polyp is diploid. The medusa is diploid. They're both diploid. The only thing that's haploid is the sperm and egg. Once the polyp forms, it will regenerate by budding. It'll make more buds. And then the head of it will actually regenerate and make several more heads. And as each head matures, it will simply break off, and the new medusa will swim away. And another one will break off and swim away. It can generate 8 to 10 different medusa heads during that polyp form. Once that's gone, then the new medusas will mature and become male or female, and the cycle begins again. So it's a rather complex reproductive cycle, a lot more advanced than what we saw with the medusa, or with the peripheral. Now, within this one, we have 4 different classes in the phylum Cnidaria. We have the class Hydrozoa, which are the hydra and Portuguese man of war. We have the Scyphozoa, the Cubozoa, and the last one is the Anthozoa. The Scyphozoa and Cubozoa are the different jellyfishes that occur in this particular phylum. And the last one, the Anthozoa, is the sponges, the coral and the sea anemone. Those are the ones that we find in that particular category. And those are all mentioned for you in your book also on page 713. 712 has the reproductive cycle that I had on the overhead, has the reproductive cycle of sponges of the Cnidarians in milk. So make sure you take a look at that. Cnidarian ecology on page 714, and its benefit to humans. So take a look at that, as well as Cnidarian evolution on page 715. Take a look at that too. All that will be on test. That's the material that you need to be familiar with. I've covered, I think, almost everything that we've talked about here. I went course, I drew it on the board and went into great detail, but it's in the book also, as well as your notes. So take that. I'm going to put a copy of a practice test, review test, that will be on the website, so you can look at it. And this video, along with that review test, should get you ready. If we're back in school on Monday, in case of snow, if we're back on Monday, we'll have the test on chapter 24 as soon as we get back. So good luck, study, look at your notes, and practice your test, okay?